This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
That is correct. We are your hosts. And our goal today, give you as much ag info as you can handle in the next 30 minutes. But first, let us start by saying welcome to another Farm Monitor.
Yes, welcome to the show, and there is plenty to talk about. Coming up, the important piece of legislation Governor Kemp says he hopes will lead to future farmers, agribusiness leaders, and agri-scientists. We'll tell you what the newly signed ag education bill means for Georgia's elementary students.
Right now, the demand for cabbage here in Georgia, very good, according to one producer. However, getting it to consumers was no easy task. Plus,
well, it finally happened. I got locked up, not in a real jail, but in a pig pen. This month, we're talking about the technique called a Judas technique for understanding wild pig behavior. And although these animals are all over Georgia now, I'll introduce you to a researcher that's using collars and techniques like this to understand their social interactions. That and a whole lot more starts right now on the Farm Monitor.
while students can participate in ag programs like FFA beginning their 7th grade year, surprisingly, there are few ag in the classroom opportunities available to elementary kids around the state. However, with the recent signing of House Bill 1303, that could be a thing of the past. Damon Jones reports from Fulton County.
With much of the population in Georgia moving towards urban areas, opportunities like this are few and far between for younger children. It's a problem that was addressed by former FFA students Emily and Dalton Green as part of their SAE project, where they proposed to bring ag ed into elementary classrooms. That idea was signed into law 3 years ago and was recently reinforced by the signing of House Bill 1303.
And they first initially came up with a bill in 2016-17 called the Green Agriculture Act. That year it did not pass, but it created some excitement and motivation for that. And so the next year came back with Senate Bill 330 and had the bill passed unanimously, both through the Senate and then the House. So this school year is the 3rd year of that pilot program, and House Bill 1303 just made it a permanent option. It's not required for elementary schools, but it is an option going forward that it'll remain on Georgia Ag Ed and Georgia Department of Education as an option.
That recently signed bill not only extends the state's current program, but also requires those school districts electing to participate to hire a full-time ag ed teacher. It's a move that can really benefit those schools located in areas away from farms.
We already feed into a middle and a high school ag program, so it just made sense to start them early with this knowledge, with this exposure. We live in a food desert here in this area, so it was really important to me to remove those barriers to access for that quality programming for our students.
However, that isn't to say that those benefits don't extend to all parts of the state.
Even in our rural areas and deepest parts of South Georgia or rural, students come to school every day and they might ride by agriculture, but they're not actually getting the chance to be involved in agriculture and see it grow. When they come to elementary ag programs, they can actually get their hands in the dirt, they can grow, plant seeds, see those plants grow, they can harvest honey from their beehives, they can collect eggs every day, and they can learn and grow through that as well.
While only 2% of Georgia's population is involved with production agriculture, ag education is beneficial to all students as it can open doors to a number of career paths in the state's #1 industry.
The cool thing about this program is that even if they don't see themselves as future farmers, they can find themselves somewhere in agriculture. And that for me was key because the exposure is what was lacking. So even if they decide to go work for Coca-Cola, that's agriculture. If they want to be a nutritionist, that's agriculture. So they've been able to explore all those different fields as they've gone through their projects, either in their general ed classrooms or with Dr. Greer in the agriculture classroom.
However, this unique experience is far from all work and no play, as it allows these kids to spend time outside while learning about different aspects of the agricultural world. It provides a nice break from the conventional classroom setting.
They love it. They will give up recess to help in any way they can, take care of the animals, the plants, indoors or outdoors. They come up with great ideas. They've been very engaged with the design thinking process, looking at how they can solve problems that we've encountered since we started the program, and most recently with acquiring the beehives. They can't wait to get out there.
Reporting from Fulton County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Well, no doubt Georgia's vegetable portfolio is vast and deep, including everything from broccoli to zucchini, even cabbage. As we speak, producers are hard at work harvesting this year's crop of cabbage. The Monitor's John Holcomb visited one such operation in Colquitt County.
Down in southwest Georgia, it's time for some fresh cabbage, and operations like DeMont Produce are hard at work harvesting this year's crop. DeMont, who is in collaboration with several other producers in the area, grow and pack 20% of the cabbage grown in the state, and this year have grown a good, quality crop.
DeMont Farms grows about 175 acres, and then I have two other growers, Moss Family Farms and Stanley and John Bass, that they grow for DeMont Produce as well, and that gets our acreage probably throughout the course of a year, a spring and a fall season, somewhere around 700, 750 acres. Crop's very good quality. It seems to be, our weights seem to be really good. We're actually starting maybe earlier than we normally start this year, but we've been able to start about a week early just because of demand, and our demand right now is really good.
However, getting the crop to harvest this season is another story, as the season started off great, but Mother Nature decided to throw them some curveballs.
We started planting in probably around the 8th or 10th of January, and really had a good planting season. You know, getting started, had good weather, good moisture. Everything went really well until I'm gonna say the second week of March, somewhere around March 12th or 14th. It got down really cold. We had not had a lot of cold weather, and the wind, between the wind and the cold, we had some leaf damage, and thought we were gonna have some crop damage, but so far not seeing anything in what we've harvested so far.
According to DeMont, however, their biggest challenge this year hasn't been the crop, it's been inflation. He says that inputs to grow this season's crop alone have risen nearly 65% compared to last year, and if it weren't for his buyers understanding the unprecedented situation and experiencing the same difficulties, they'd no doubt be upside down this year.
Our cabbage product that we sell is a contract product. Now, we are in negotiations with the people that we contract with to try to be able to place some surcharges for fuel and fertilizer because of the dramatic increase in such a short period of time. Most of our customers have been really understanding when we bring this to the table and say, hey, we've seen it in our margins as well. We knew this was coming. We're working to get our prices higher to where we can cover all the increased cost of production.
Reporting in Moultrie for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Well, everybody, Ranger Nick, coming up, we're going to talk about a rare technique that's being used to control and study wild pigs. It's turning some heads and getting a lot of attention after the break.
Summer conference is a great way to get all these groups of people together to mix and mingle and share ideas and just get to know each other and your fellow farmers.
A typical day at the YFNR conference is different from year to year. I've been coming many years, and honestly it's never been the same, and that's the exciting part, is to see what will come from speakers to breakout sessions that allow you to choose what area you want to listen to, so you're not forced into a box. You create your own schedule throughout the day.
Our best memory for conference was in 2019. We were the state excellence in ag winners, and so that was a really neat experience for us. Not only did we win at the state level, but we were able to go out to Austin, Texas and represent our state at the National Excellence in Ag competition, and so Young Farmers and Ranchers has just given us that opportunity to kind of like share our story and what we're doing and compete at a national level.
Well, what you're looking at there is something that causes $150 million worth of damage annually in Georgia alone and is in every county in the state. We're talking about wild pigs this month, and I'm joined by Faith Cruz. Hey, Faith, good to be with you today.
Good to be with you.
Faith is having to put up with me today as we talk about wild pigs because, Faith, your research at the University of Georgia in the Warnell School of Forestry and Natural Resources is on wild pigs and their behavior. Before we get into that and some of these techniques that you're studying, why study wild pigs? Why look at them? Why understand them?
It's a good question. So wild pigs were brought to actually South Florida back in 1538, and since then they've expanded their range to at least 35 states in the U.S. and they are notoriously known for the damage they cause, but also the fact that they can eat basically anything, live basically anywhere. They're habitat and diet generalists. Right. And then they have a high reproductive capacity, and they cause a lot of damage wherever they are, and that damage can be to agricultural crops by rooting up the seeds when they're just in the process of growing or when they are already mature. It can be in the process of spreading diseases to humans and livestock and pets, and then also soil erosion, messing up nutrient cycles in the ground. Even things like predating on reptiles and amphibians or outcompeting native wildlife.
I mean, the damages, and I want to talk about that. I'm so glad you mentioned things like keystone species, like the gopher tortoise in South Georgia, what they're doing to that habitat. Yeah. When we talk about controlling these things, Faith, we're looking at a corral-style trap. Tell me about this. This is half of it. This isn't usually how it looks.
Yeah, they're usually completely closed. So with controlling for wild pigs, there's a couple different ways you can do that. And one is trapping. And we like to emphasize that they're large corral-style traps so you can fit that whole sounder or group of pigs in it. And that's how you effectively control pigs, is taking out the whole sounder as opposed to just individuals. And one couple things to note with traps is you want to make sure that they are graduated kind of cell sizes, because piglets, they can easily stick through here where they can't get through those bottom ones. Sure. You want to make sure it's about 5 feet tall because then they won't get over it. Okay. When it comes to the kind of entrance of the trap.
This is an automatic one, huh? We can do with our phone too?
Yes.
Wow.
So when it comes to entering the traps, you see there's nothing down here. Right. Now, if you can imagine, pigs, they spend their whole life without anything like concrete or roads or stuff like that under their feet. So you wouldn't want to walk over top of some type of like bar that's right there, here. So you want to make sure it's completely just natural ground when it comes to entering the trap. Right. And then another thing is there's no hard corners of the trap because pigs can escape these things. So you want to make sure there's no hard corners, and then to eliminate the catch of like non-target species, make sure there's no top to it, because if, for instance, maybe a bear comes in or a deer, they can easily jump out or climb out.
Okay, I was thinking about that. And what I want to talk about next is when they get into this thing, now what? How are you studying those? And I want to go there next, so let's do it now. All right, Faith, so we're on the move. Taking a look at all these parts to those traps to hold those wild pigs. And what I really want to focus on now is this technique called the Judas technique that you mentioned, and it involves this collar.
Yes.
Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so once you have pigs in the trap, with my project, we're looking to see what type of pig works as the best Judas pig. And just to give you a little bit of a background on what's the Judas technique, because it's something that not many people have heard of. Sure. It first kind of focuses on social animals, and pigs are very social. And basically you trap an individual or a sounder of pigs, and then you pick which one of those is the best to use for for being a Judas pig. Okay. And in this case, not much literature has been done, so we don't really know what's the best Judas pig. And I'm going to focus on subadults, so 60 to 90 pounds, and I'm looking at females and males. So when it comes to, you know, you've got the trap with wild pigs in it, which one are you going to pick to put the collar on? Right. First, you're looking at, is it of good quality? So it hasn't hurt itself while in the trap, it's still in good condition, and then also, is it within that 60 to 90 pounds? Then we remove the other pigs that are in there, put the collar on the designated Judas pig, and then we release it back into the environment. And I look at its locations online because I can see all its points.
And that's how we're doing this with this sophisticated wildlife camera.
Yeah. So it is a cellular camera, and once I see online, all right, this pig is hanging out in this one spot, I stick this camera there, and then it, since it's cellular, sends pictures to my phone, and I can see, all right, this pig is with more pigs, or this pig's alone and it's not with other pigs. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out, is which type of pig finds other pigs fastest, and then also is seen with the most pigs over time. And how this is a removal method is, once you get that pig with other pigs, you tell Wildlife Services, or if you're a land manager, you go out there and you know where the pig's at because of the collar. Right. You remove the other individuals that it's with, and then you let that Judas pig go on and find more pigs.
Do it again.
And do it again.
All right, so keep in mind, this Judas technique is fairly unstudied, and Faith, that's where you come in. Collecting this data on those characteristics of that juvenile 60 to 90 pound subadult, we're calling it.
Subadult.
When you get that information, where are you going from here with your study?
Yeah, so first is collecting all that data, looking at how long it took that Judas pig, once it was deployed with the collar, to find more pigs. And if I start seeing a trend, maybe the females are the ones that find pigs sooner and they're found with pigs more often, then I'll say, okay, that is the best type of Judas pig. And for future land managers or wildlife services, once we have more studies on this, can confirm that that female is the best Judas pig, they're going to know when you trap a sounder of pigs, choose that subadult female, use that as the Judas pig, send it out there, and after X amount of days, you can know that it's with more pigs to then remove.
To me, that is so interesting, identifying those characteristics and making that prediction using that data. I don't want to hog up all the time here. Faith, thanks so much for spending time with me today. If y'all want to know more about this, talk to your local county extension agent, as we always try to support through the Ranger Nick segment. And while you're online looking up that agent, take a look at the Ranger Nick Facebook page, see what I got going on. We're doing these Warnell wings and things every Friday, so take a look there and see what we got going. Until next time, for the Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick Faith, as we always say, reminding you at home that enthusiasm is contagious, so pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you right back here again, this time next month. See ya.
When we come back, a look at how USDA is getting closer to understanding bee aggression and what they've learned about colony defensiveness.
Hello again, it's Slayton Carter with Georgia Farm Bureau. We thank you for watching another episode of Farm Monitor, which is one of many programs made possible by our membership. It's that time of year where everyone wants to enjoy fresh produce and shop at local farmers markets. We know there are countless to choose from here in Georgia, so to help you navigate, Georgia Farm Bureau publishes an annual farm passport, which gives you a map of all the certified farm markets in the state. Now, a certified farm market is one that is verified by Georgia Farm Bureau to produce the commodities listed in their description. We make sure that these markets offer consumers a chance to meet their producers and learn a little bit about agriculture and the food they're purchasing. Programs like these are made possible by our members, and we hope those of you who enjoy the Farm Passport will consider becoming a member of Georgia Farm Bureau. Our membership is open to anyone who wants to show appreciation for the hard-working Georgia farmers who help make summertime a little bit sweeter. Now, while you're out traveling with your Farm Passport and enjoying your peach ice cream, go on your phones and visit our website at gfb.org. You can sign up for your GFB membership for only $35, quick and easy. Plus, if you join online during our Membership May campaign, you'll receive a thank you gift while supplies last.
Honeybees contribute massively to pollination in our agricultural system. The ease of use currently is unmatched by sort of any other system, really. They also represent a separate economy in and of itself, so not only do honeybees by pollination enhance our agricultural economy, but honeybee products provide like an economic basis for a lot of families in the U.S. So this becomes a significant sort of impact for not only on that sort of independent business scale, but also on the broader sort of agricultural food safety sort of mission for the USDA.
Honeybees are a part of our everyday lives, from the sweet honey we consume to the beauty products we use. And while many bees are pollinators, honeybees are the most significant managed pollinator worldwide, providing pollination services for a variety of crops in addition to honey production. The demands on these insects are intense.
Honeybee currently are being threatened by a variety of factors. We call them the 4 Ps, so it's pathogens, parasites, poor nutrition, and pesticides.
ARS research geneticist Arian Avalos is researching ways to help these extremely hard workers stay healthy and productive, which will benefit both our economy and our taste buds. One way of achieving this goal is to breed honeybees with improved traits, but that can be a sticky situation. It is tough to breed a honeybee when you can't characterize their traits because they are regulated by many genes and they buzz around mostly in groups. However, Dr. Avalos may have discovered a game changer by unlocking a particular region in the genome responsible for the trait known as colony defensive behavior. This trait is of particular interest because honeybee colonies that are overly defensive are undesirable from both a colony management and public health perspective.
Honeybee breeding is to develop honeybee populations that are sort of more amenable and more agreeable for commercial beekeeper usage. And for this particular characteristics, it's great all around because it allows the beekeepers to manage them with greater safety. But we have other research in the lab relating to, for example, varroa resistance traits, which we're basically breeding for honeybees that are teaching themselves to be quite resistant to this very negative mite, varroa destructor, which is a major cause of colony loss across the U.S. And so that's critical as well for the public just because it helps maintain honeybees healthier overall.
The ARS Honeybee Breeding Genetics and Physiology Research Laboratory in Baton Rouge, Louisiana looks for solutions to these complex problems. Here they study thousands of honeybee colonies and breeding honeybees with traits that improve honeybee health, resilience, and performance. The laboratory collaborates with Breeding Insight, an ARS Cornell University initiative that helps breeders increase the rate of genetic gain and create more healthy, nutritious, and sustainable specialty crops and animals.
The mission for the Agricultural Research Service facility that I work in is effectively food security for the United States. Part of how we guarantee that is by maintaining sort of, again, our premier pollinators healthy and productive. And we largely do that as our lab's focus through breeding and physiology assessment of these honeybees, breeding being the key point in our mission.
Dr. Avalos' findings will help provide a roadmap for the analysis of complex honeybee traits, which will help keep our vital pollinators healthy and productive. After all, healthier honeybees equals a healthier world.
All right, our thanks to USDA for that. Before we send you on your way, friendly reminder that for all the latest ag news regarding food, recipes, and what's happening on Georgia farms, be sure you check out all of our social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, and of course, farm-monitor.com.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Stay safe and have a great week.